And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's another edition of the BNS podcast. Your host, Ike O. Today, my guest is from the sunny part of the world, California, and she is no one else but Jacqueline. How you doing, Jacqueline?
Hi, how are you?
Jacqueline is the co-founder of the Care for Dan. Jacqueline, uh, you have a very interesting story. I think our audience across the world would love to hear your story. I was going to do it myself, but I think you'd be better off doing it. Introduce yourself to our audience, please, wherever they are.
Sure. So, hi, I am Jacqueline J. Revere. I always like to start out by saying that I am a person who stutters. I know I'm really fluent right now, but if it comes out, don't be surprised, okay? And
That's
I
right.
am, yeah, all right, I am the co-founder of the Care Den, uh, which is an online community for caregivers. And I will talk more about that later, but like my personal story and why I'm sitting here, I guess, is in 2016 my mother started showing signs of dementia. And at the time I was 29. I am from California, like you had said, and I was living in New York City at that time. But
Wow.
on top of that, my mother, who lived in the same house as my grandmother, was caring for her, who had been diagnosed with dementia in 2014. And so while I was on the subway, my mother's friend called me. She said, "Something is wrong with your mom. You need to fly home." So at 29, I flew from New York City home to LA, and I then became the primary caregiver for both my mother and my grandmother. And my mom was later diagnosed, and so I ended up caring for two people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you your grandmom had dementia, and somewhere along the line, your mom also had dementia. So you were now catering both for your mom and your grandmom at 29. That means your entire life would have completely changed from wherever you were doing in New York to fly all the way back to California and to start a life of a caregiver. First of all, let me applaud you for the work you must have done and the sacrifice you made to be there for both your mother and your grandmother. Um, it must have been a very interesting journey.
More than interesting. It changed my view on the world, and it ultimately changed who I am. My future trajectory switched up completely as well.
Wow. So that means, what were you doing in New York before then? Was it something a little bit more interesting?
A little bit more interesting. So yes, actually, I was working as an executive assistant at a large children's TV network. And my plan was to write for TV and make shows. And
Wow.
so I went from really working hard in that field to losing it all and kind of I guess using whatever skills I had in that field to then use that to care for my mom. And those skills translated over, oddly enough.
Wow. Wow. And so it worked. So the skill sets you acquired working for a TV show ends up being stuff that you could have bring on the table to help um, care for both your mom and your grandmother.
Yeah,
Wow.
I started sharing what it was to care for my mom. And that's where the translation happened. But that took 4 years of very intense, high mountains and low valleys of figuring it out first.
And you eventually figured it out.
I did. I did. I did.
Eventually figured it out. Okay. So someone just has a question for you. I'm going to ask you the question they gave you. So
Mhm.
um, it says caregivers are often unseen. What silent battles were you fighting behind the scenes? Wow.
Oh, there's so many. The work that we do is called invisible work, and it's called that because people don't see it. So it's much of the mental,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the choices that you're making
That's
moment to
moment.
moment, making sure that they've had their medication. And once their symptoms switch, the entire plan that you've had set up must then rehaul it and start all over. And so you're just constantly ebbing and flowing and setting up doctor's appointments, remembering which location the appointment is at, taking them, making sure you have their list of medications, what they're allergic to. Um,
Mhm.
and those are like the overall, ov- those don't include making sure your person is fed and
Yeah.
bathed
Yeah.
and has socialization. And so much of your mental load goes to caring for someone that you don't have much left to care for
Yourself.
yourself. So
Yeah. Yourself. That's true. That's true. Yeah, because you're taking care of everyone else. You're running around trying to make sure everyone is fine, and then no one is taking care of Jacqueline. Wow, that's a very interesting notion to take note of. That no one is actually looking after the caregiver, because I know a lot of caregivers pour in so much, but they begin to have less time for themselves.
yeah.
It impacts your social life, it impacts your personal life, it impacts your health sometimes. So it takes a lot. And like you said, the work that you guys do are seen as invisible because no one sees what you do, no one sees you. It's always about the other person you're caring for. You took advantage of that and you created a community. Tell us about the community that you actually set up. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, so that all started when I began sharing the journey of caring for my mom in 2020. It was when the pandemic had hit and everyone was, sitting at home, and my mother's day center had shut down, and so she was home with me 24/7, and I was just kind of like, okay, what am I going to do with all of this time that I have with her? And so we did some activities and whatnot. But one day I just started sharing on TikTok, and we got more views than I was even expecting. And I think some of it is because my mom just has a very infectious smile.
Okay.
Uh, but I we we started just sharing what the day to day life is of caring for
Wow.
her, and
Mhm.
we slowly became more and more popular, and
We-
that's really how it all happened. The trappings of social media are its own thing, and we can have a complete conversation about that too. But there were people who said, "Oh my gosh, I did not know that there was someone doing the exact same thing as
that
me."
they were doing. Can I ask you a question before we go any
Yeah,
further?
of course.
Um, um, would you mind if I interject when you start to stutter? If I have an idea of what you're about to say, and help you complete it.
Yeah, so I don't mind that, and I'm really happy that you asked. because that's the best thing to do.
Yes.
However, if I am having a hard time, please interject, because saying words isn't easy for me all the time, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't come across rude or disrespectful or disregard. Your own. Sometimes you might think you're helping and you're not actually doing that. And I see that happening. I work with a lot of persons and with autism and other intellectual disabilities, so I completely understand. And so um, you might be willing to give help, but I think the best thing is to really ask if the person does need your help. And if they say no, and that's fine. If they say yes, then you can go ahead. And so that's why I wanted to reach out to you to ask you. And thank you for giving me the go ahead to
Absolutely.
interject if there's any need for it. Good. Yeah. So social media now blows you and your mom up, and you now become a sensation on social media. Uh,
That is a bit, I'll take it. Yeah, yeah. We became sensation.
famous.
Yep. Yeah, sort of. And what it was is we let people see what care looks like.
Looks like, yeah, yeah.
And that was something that just hadn't been shared as consistently as we had shared it. And so now people have an idea of what care means. And so they can be more helpful for family now that they actually see it. Like, it's not some floating word anymore.
Right. Actually means something. It's tangible. People can identify what the
Yeah,
struggles are, what the concerns are, and how they can be of support to anyone who steps up to be a caregiver. In
exactly.
your case, it was a mom with dementia, someone, a person, it could be a child with autism or any other intellectual disability. I know this is Autism Month, so it's on my radar. So I keep on using any opportunity to talk about what we do. Jacqueline, thank you again for the work you've done with your mom and for all the other caregivers who are out there. Jacqueline and I are saying kudos and applause for all the great work that you do. I can only imagine some of the challenges you go through. So at 29, your whole life changes. You leave New York, you come to California. Now, from a career that you had in mind, everything is transitioned into now becoming a caregiver. But the platform you set up, which is called Care, the Care Den.
The Care Den. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes,
the Care Den is an online community where we provide respite, resources, and connection to those who are caring for someone currently or those who have cared for someone. Because, well, two things.
mhm.
Caregivers experience isolation and loneliness, which leads to depression.
Depression. Oh, so you're saying the caregivers experience loneliness that can lead to depression? That's your experience?
Yes, there have like been studies on why taking this role
Role.
on
Mhm.
tends to cause the person caring for someone. It shortens your lifespan.
Lifespan, yeah.
Yeah. And so some of that is the mental load, but then when you lack social connection as well, that is a large contributing factor. And
Factor,
so
right? Right. Yeah.
we work to mitigate that. And so we make sure that that experts in the care field come and have seminars with the members. But then on top of that, we meet about 4 to 5 times per week. And sometimes we just hang out and talk. We hold support
Support
groups.
groups.
We
Support groups.
hold we hold movement sessions. And so we're really trying to make sure that the whole person
It's
is
being catered for and taken care of.
attuned to.
Yes, right.
And
That's
so that has been the joy of my life right now.
wow, 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 wow. So a bunch of caregivers all come together, but is this done in person or virtually?
This is done virtually right now, but we are in the talks of planning our first in-person sessions also.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful
exciting.
because it's almost like a what's the terminology I'm trying to use? An
Hmm.
outlet to feel that you're not alone. There's a sense of community. There's a sense of camaraderie. You can laugh with and share stories and just feel that the journey that they're on, there's a level of support, and they build friendships and gather some kind of momentum to continue on, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, yes. That's
Um, what we say is that we build resilience.
wow. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you need resilience to do this work. You need a lot of resilience to
absolutely.
to carry the burden or the weight of someone else, especially when the person you're caring for was once caring for you. That's
Absolutely.
that's another level. That's
There's
another yeah.
there's so many complexities
Yes.
in that can be difficult to put into words. But then on
Yeah.
top of that, someone who hasn't experienced that, they have no context for it. And so there are so few people that you can have these conversations with.
With
So
right.
we just try to put everyone who have these same experiences in the same space.
Space.
And it has
Right.
been so healing. It really
Yeah.
has.
That's good. That's good. I'm super excited to hear what you're doing. We're going
Thank
to take a short break. When we come back, I'll ask you two more questions and we'll begin to wind down. Thank you for making it out and speaking to us today. We're back again on the BNS class. I told you, Jacqueline.
It was super short. I was gonna take a sip of water. It didn't happen.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Take your water to get over it. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is a very relaxing podcast. We can do whatever we have to do before you end up choking on live on a live show. Okay. Oh, back with my guest, Jacqueline Rivera from California. Jacqueline left New York at 29 and moved back home to be with there for her grandmother and her mom as their caregiver. Um, Sadly, you lost both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team told me. What was that like?
They were my first major losses ever. And my grandmother passed about a year and a half after I moved home. And I wasn't really able to mourn her because I was caring for my mom also, who was mourning as well.
Wow,
And so I don't know if I even mourned my grandmother until my mom passed. So I cared for my mom a total of 6 years.
wow,
And it made the mourning process really heavy because I think all of the memories of the past 6 years kind of came flooding in. And once people pass, especially people that you cared for, you kind of have the time to think about it all.
right.
And so all of the people that you thought would have shown up that did not show up make you sad again, and you're sort of like mourning how you'll end up moving forward with them, and you're mourning the the loss of identity,
Identity. Yes, loves
and
it.
you're trying to figure out who you are moving forward as well. And so it's just it's a heavy time. It's a
Mhm.
heavy time. And my mom has now passed about 4 years ago. And I wanted to create the care den back then, but I just wasn't in
Ready,
the
right,
right mental
right.
space,
Yeah. Oh, I know, I know, and
you
and
know?
and it makes a difference. You know that, right? It makes
Yeah.
a difference. I tell people the story all the time, and I know most of my audience would have heard about this. The podcast BNS, which stands for Broken Not Shattered, that's what it
Mhm.
actually stands for. Um, Came at a very dark time in my life, and when it was given to me, I was like, God, why do I have to go through all this? And He says, don't worry, out of this, it's gonna come a blessing. That yes, you might feel broken, but you're not shattered, and that
Mm,
the platform would help people, would help the helpless, and give hope to the hopeless, and a voice to the voiceless.
mhm.
Out of my own experiences. Now, at that time, I didn't want to hear that.
Of course.
I was hurting, right?
Yeah.
Didn't want to hear that, and I didn't touch it for almost 5 years. Didn't touch it. I thought it was going to be a book, actually. But I couldn't sit down just to start writing and put all my thoughts on. That's like nah. And then found out I could do it through a podcast. And so I bring people like you to come on and just share your story. And in sharing your story, you're inspiring people all over the world. But
Well,
I had to be in that mental space to start, so I can relate to you saying, you were not ready to start the care den. Yeah, well done.
people like me appreciate that you took that time and that you figured out the platform that works for sharing.
Yeah,
And like taking that time is important. You know, what we we need time to heal, and we can only help other people once we have healed,
that's correct.
you know? And so
So, how did you find strength to move on? That's something I know most of my audience would like to know. How did you do it?
it really is the time. It's time, however, it's also feeling the grief.
Mhm.
You can't hide from it. And the more you hide from it, the harder it will hit you. But it
Mhm.
will hit you at some point.
That's correct.
And there's the only way past it is to go through it. And it's not fun at all. But you have to have those moments where you're just unconsolable and you're just crying, and it feels like the heaviest weight and the hardest pain, but feeling that pain will get you to the
Other
other
side, other
side of
side.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, feeling that pain will get you to the other side. Um, I say go through grief, but don't let grief go through you.
For you.
Yeah,
That's it.
because if you let grief go through you, it will hold you down. It will keep you literally paralyzed for years and years and years and years. You know, go through it, and everybody agrees differently. So I always tell people this: there's no one size fits all. Now people do it differently. And thank you for starting the care den. Um,
Thank you.
Mom of my mommy.
Mom of my mom.
Mom
Yeah,
of my
mom
mom.
of my mom. My mom actually named the social media page.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, there's a video. She had dementia at this time, and she pointed at a photo of her and me as a baby. And she pointed at herself and she said, "That's me." And I said, "Yes." And then she pointed at me as a baby and she said, "And that's my mom." And I was like, "Yeah,
Wow.
yeah."
So now you were her mom at that time.
I was her mom at that time.
Mom of my mom. Well done. All right,
Thank
I'm
you.
going to give you the last question that someone just asked, and it says, well, I think we've asked this already. It says, "What is the Care Den, and how did your path lead you to co-found it?" But I think we've actually um, agreed that you've shared that story, correct?
I've shared it. However, the power of sharing your story is that people will find you. And so, someone who watched the journey of me caring for my mom, she was actually caring for her father, and she's a therapist. And her and I partnered. And so, that's how this came. And so, I do want to encourage people to share your story,
Yeah.
find your people, and go through the grief.
That's correct. You couldn't have said it any better. And as we begin to wind down the podcast, if there's anybody else in your community that wants to share their story, please feel free to reach out to us. And our audience are quite large. Very humbled about it, but we now reach people in the Middle East. Apparently, it shows that we have a lot of audience from Qatar, Dubai,
Wow.
um, strong following in the United Kingdom. Yes, back home here in the US, especially in the DMV area, and also in parts of West Africa, especially Nigeria. So, hey, it's
Congratulations.
thank you. It's global, and we'll continue to work to expand that and create that opportunity for people to share their stories. So, does anybody else you know who's out there who wants to do that? Um, Please let me know. And I think I need my vitamin C.
Just a bit. I got mine here.
All right. So there's something we do on the podcast, on the BNS podcast. Um, we have a drop off question. The last guest, whoever it is, had asked a question, and you have to answer that question. They don't know who you are, who's coming in. They just ask the question, and it's called a drop off question. So they drop off with that question. Then when you're leaving, you have to come up with a question
Okay.
to ask the next person, whoever the next guest is. So as we begin to wrap up the show, start thinking about what your question is going to be, and I'll take that minute and say to those of us who are following us on our podcast and who have been with us over the years, I want to say a big thank you. As Jacqueline is making out time to think about what her question is going to be, I just want to let you guys know that we need your support. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We are very close, but the target is to get there before the end of June. And there's a reason why we want to get to 10 before the end of 10,000 subscribers for the end of June. We have a global audience. People check us out on a regular basis. We're doing good content. So please like, share, subscribe, and click the button that says notification. So a notification button so you can be notified. I thought I'd take a few minutes and just plug it in. Okay, Jacqueline, it's your turn. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So the drop off question is, what is your toxic trait? Ah!
Great. I came on here talking about the care den, and we're going toxicity. Okay, no, yeah. I mean, of course, I have one.
Of
Um,
course.
of course, I would say my toxic trait is that I am competitive,
Mm,
but I can channel it in a way where I'm competitive to help people. So, like, I if I'm going to be in a field, I'm going to be the
the best.
best person in that field. And
Okay.
so maybe I'm helping a lot of people, but the other people are like, damn her. But yeah, so I'm just always like, it's mine.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. Okay. So, what is your drop off question?
Mine was all like light and fluffy.
Hey, go
Mine
ahead.
was,
Let a fluffy
no,
drop it on.
uh, who gave you permission to be your full self?
Who gave you permission to be your full self? Wow. And that was fluffy. I wonder what deep would be like if you asked a deep question. That was
That's just
fluffy.
light,
That's
flying
like,
around.
who gave you the permission to be your full self?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, for whoever that guest is, I can't wait to hear what they had to say. Jacqueline, thank you so much. Enjoy the beautiful weather out there in California.
Thank
We are on the other side, on the DMV, so it's not that bright, but hey, we're enjoying the weather every time it comes up. I just want to say a big thank you for all that you do and to all your followers. Where can people find you again, Jacqueline?
You can find me at Mom of My Mom on every social media outlet ever. And you can join us in the Care Den. I host a support group on Monday nights,
Monday nights. What time would that be? Because we're on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast.
4 p.m. Pacific Standard, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, there you go. So you heard it from Jacqueline herself, co-founder of the Care Den. If you are a carer or you're caring for someone or a caregiver, you need some support system, please feel free to join my good friend Jacqueline. And I can call you a good friend, right?
Yeah, we're besties.
Okay. That's a good one. Thank you. My team are gonna be saying, you just met her for the first time now, and now you're besties. Well, yes,
Way back, half an hour,
half
35
an hour,
minutes.
half an hour is a long time in a man's life, right? Well, thanks again, Jacqueline. And so we want to applaud you for all that you do once again. And to all my guests, wherever you are, and our audience and our family at BNS Podcast, thank you again for supporting us this week. See you again same time next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on every other platform that has social media attached to it. And our last famous three words: love, peace, and more grace. Take care, Jacqueline. See you soon. Bye.